How's it going, everybody? Yeah, my might be some noise here in a little bit. My wife's actually in the kitchen making her food for tomorrow. So, no complaining, no complaining. Yep. That's right, everybody. It is what time it is. What time it is. Right? It's funny how people say, hey, this is what time it is. This is what time it is. But yeah, we know. West Coast is 9 o'clock, and then it goes, Mountain Time is 10, and then Central 11, East Coast is 12. Yep, we all got it. Yep. Yeah, this is one was sent to me earlier today because there was an identification made, but I went back in time and found all this information from the past. I mean, it's really interesting, this case that we're going to be talking about, the Donna Brazzell case. She was just identified, okay, from a 1980, well, 1980 is when her body was found. But she could have been put there, they said, 6 months to 2.5 years prior. So, there you go. Yeah, any of you guys watching Mindhunters? Man, that's this second season is way better than the first one. First one was great, but so far, I'm on episode, just finished 8. I guess there's one more. It's freaking awesome. I mean, it's such great acting. There isn't one shitty actor on the whole thing. No, Blue's just sitting there looking straight forward. The little thing that's glowing next to him is actually a green tennis ball, and the green screen that's actually set on that camera is see-through. That's why it doesn't look like a tennis ball. Right. So, here we go. Let me throw out this one story first before we get to that. Okay, and all the links are in the description. I try to do that beforehand. I always feel like when I do my show,
shouldn't have happened. It should have been more.
But I don't really need to put the links in the description because I show you on the screen the video, and then you can see up there on the screen. But I mean, I guess I should do that. Sometimes when we're doing my show, we're just kind of looking at links, and it's like, it's hard to do. Okay? But I try to let you see on the screen, you can all see where it's from and that type of thing. Hey, look at that, it's Billy Boy Blue. I thought you disappeared. We've been doing nursery rhymes in your honor the last couple nights. Yeah. Well, look at this story here. Father of 9-year-old girl mauled to death by pit bulls argued with dog's owner about fencing last week. Okay, so first of all, the owner of the dog should be put in prison for probably whatever the maximum charge for reckless endangerment is. Okay, so hopefully it's like 20 years. And
Why
then also
he graze up in the house.
Hey, thanks, Billy Boy Blue. Also, I'm not. You guys know I'm not a big pit bull fan, and this is just why right here. See, everyone always goes, "Oh, it's the owner. It's the owner." Yeah, I mean, in this case, the owners are the ones that didn't secure the dogs, but pit bulls are bred the way they are. Okay, and sometimes pit bulls don't kill or do anything like most of the time, they don't kill or anything during their lifetime. And the ones in here that own them will probably say, oh, you just don't know it, man. Mine's so great. Well, here's the thing is, half the people that you see these killings from, pit bulls, say the same thing. They say, wow, my dog was so wonderful. It never attacked anybody until today. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, that's the problem. Yeah, see, like right there, somebody else would say, oh I got this great pit bull. Yeah, right, until it actually kills somebody. All right, I don't, yours might not be that one. Here's what I'm going to tell you is pit bulls kill over 30 people a year in the United States. But then you also wonder, how many did they maim and wound severely in the United States? I bet it's hundreds of people. They didn't always kill. All right, so that's my opinion on it. You don't have to agree with it, but I think if you have a small child and you own a pit bull, you should actually lose your child because you're an idiot. Like, wow, you're going to put a pit bull around a chihuahua. Chihuahua. I just saw somebody type chihuahua. You're going to put a baby around a pit bull, right? Yeah, that's true. You've seen more vicious chihuahuas, right? But they don't kill people. That's where the difference is. Right. And I know everybody out there goes, oh, gosh, you're so ignorant about pit bulls. You just don't get it because I'm so great with mine. Yeah, I know. They all say the same damn thing. Okay? And I'm sick of these deaths. And a lot of times they're little kids being absolutely killed by pit bulls. All right? So make sure yours isn't one of those ones. Make sure it's always chained up. If you have any small kids around, it can't go anywhere near the small kids without somebody right there on them the whole time. All right? But if you have like a small child and you let it play freely with a pit bull, man, you are you're just playing with fire right there. Well, that's because you don't know my pit bull, Gray. Yeah, they all say that, though. They all say, God, it was so nice until it killed today. And I don't know what happened. Well, because it was bred that way and something triggered it. And we don't, whatever it was. And as soon as that happened, they treated your little small child like a rag and whipped it around and killed it. All right? So, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do about it, to be honest with you. And give me just start putting in the comment section all the hate comments. It happens every time. Okay? But I'm telling you what I think, and even if you own one, I don't dislike you or anything like that. If you own a pit bull, I'm just telling you what I think about pit bulls. I hate them. As a matter of fact, when I'm walking past one, I always go to the other side of the street. I think of them as I tell kids that are younger than 13, walking late at night, if you're walking on the street and somebody's walking towards you, go to the other side of the street. That's how I do it with a pit bull, because I don't have a clue what they're going to do. Especially when you see them, they're always muzzled. Like, really? I mean, wow, why is it muzzled? It's so kind. It's such a great little dog, but you got it muzzled while you're walking down the street. Yeah. So... anyways, there you go, everybody. Do with it what you want. I'm sure your pit bull's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that's I know until they kill their owner, though, Billy Boy Blue. See, the thing is pit bulls have actually killed their own owner, which is crazy. It's not just they don't just kill some other person. They've killed their owners. They've also killed the children of the owners who they had been loving to for years even. Yeah, what about cats? Did they ever... There you go. Yeah, house cats rarely... I bet they've killed a baby before. It's probably really rare,
Pets
though.
are
But I bet you
fiercely
if you looked
loyal
it
and
up,
affectionate to their owners, which is the draw. But they will annihilate anything foreign to them.
Annihilate, yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely owners make a difference. Okay? But they can only do what they can do. Like, you could have a great owner of a pit bull, and that same pit bull might actually attack and kill somebody, even though you did everything right. They'll never admit that, but that's just the honest to God truth. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Now, if that didn't spoil the night for some of you who are like, oh, God, mine's so great. I know that some of you have them. I'm not, just, you know. I'll tell you what. If you do own one and you have a small child that you leave alone with the pit bull, I would have an issue with that. I think that's crazy. All right? But I don't care if anybody owns one. If you're an adult, as long as you take precautions to make sure it doesn't ever attack or bite anybody else, because they are particularly, once they get the bite in, you're going to have severe damage. Okay, so you got to make sure that never happens to anybody else. You got to make sure that the only person that might ever get attacked is yourself. Okay, because nobody else should have to pay for your unwillingness to chain it up or to keep it under control at all times. Yeah, those damn house cats, I tell you what. Yeah, that thing about Chihuahuas, yes, they're aggressive. Sometimes they growl and all. I've never had mine bite anybody, though. Okay, it's never snipped at anybody, but it looks like it wants to. It's like, ah, when somebody, like a mailman comes by. But the difference is a mailman can turn around if it had to and kick the dog 100 yards if it wanted to. It's just, they weigh 4 pounds. Okay, so they could easily, it's not like they're going to ever do anything. You'll get a little cut finger. All right? It's a pit bull, like they can weigh 80, 90 pounds, all the way from like 50 to 90 pounds, and they're just all muscle with a head full of teeth. Like just massive jaws. That's why I like walking the other direction. Yeah, oh yeah. When FedEx comes by, Blue looks like a maniac. I think if he weighed 90 pounds, that'd be a whole different story. That'd be weird. I don't know if I would actually have him. All right, but unfortunately, you probably couldn't see it, but it's right here. You know, people have put a bunch of toys around the house and everything, but a week before, 9-year-old Emma Hernandez was mauled to death by 3 pit bulls in Detroit. Her father got into an argument with the dog's owner about them roaming free in the neighborhood. Emma was riding her bike near her home in southwest Detroit on Monday when the dogs escaped from the neighbor's yard and attacked her, the station reported. A week earlier, her father, Armando Hernandez, had an argument with the dog's owner about better fencing for the dogs, Emma's aunt, Claudia Stapleton, told the news station. Okay, and this is her right here. Like, yeah, just cute little kid. I mean, what a nightmare. Just think of the absolute, it's horrible, right? I don't think it's much different than a serial, like a killer coming up and just, think how horrifying that was for her when the 3 dogs were attacking her the whole time. Okay? So, think twice out there, everybody. Think twice. All right. So now I'm going to switch right over to the case of, the thumbnail here. Okay, the Donna Brazzell case. It's really, it's crazy. Because I found all these old articles and stuff about the 2 people. It's really, here, let me just set it up like this. So she was killed in 1980. And I guess when they found her, it must have just been bones or something like that. But they named the 2 men that were just arrested today or yesterday as suspects 5 years ago, based on some sort of information. Well, what would that have been? There was no DNA. There was nothing. So I wonder, that part is strange. What was the tip that made them be the #1 suspects? Both of these guys. Okay, but let me just get to the main story here. So this is on the This happened in Louisiana, okay? And it looks like the Rapids, Rapides, Parish. Okay, and that's how I know all these articles that I found was the right guy, because it was the right age and everything. All right, so on November 5th, 1980, the Rapids Parish Sheriff's Office received a complaint related to the discovery of skeletal remains near Louisiana Highway 28 West in the Gardner area. All right, so I found the newspaper clipping right here of one of the first ones. This was from the Daily Advertiser on November 7th, 1980. The skeleton of a woman with red hair was found by a hunter in woods near Louisiana Highway 28 West, not far from this community, about 15 miles from Alexandria. The Rapids Sheriff's Office reported Thursday. Officers said it appeared the body had been there about 2 years, and the remains were scattered over a wide area. So kind of think like 1978 you could go back to as to when she was originally there, right? Investigators said the identity of the woman was not known, nor was cause of death immediately determined. They said all missing persons report from the last 2 years will be checked as the investigation continues. Well, they never were able to identify her until just the last couple days. Or they might have done it in the last month or so, but just came forward with the information today. All right, now here's one of the original articles too. This is actually the day prior, November 6th. And here we go. I don't know if those are part of the skeletal remains, but this is an image. Rapids Deputy William Earl Hilton left. Sheriff's Detective Frank Melder, an investigator with the coroner's office, searched an area today where the skeletal remains of a young woman or girl was found Wednesday near Gardner. Identity and cause of death haven't been established. All right, and it says skeletal remains of a red hair. This is the town talk in Alexandria, Louisiana. The skeletal remains of a red-haired woman or girl were found by a hunter in a wooded area near Louisiana Highway 28 West, near Gardner, late Wednesday afternoon. The Rapids Parish Sheriff's Office reported. So Highway 28 West near Gardner. Maybe we could try to figure that out. Okay, Highway 28. That's Highway 28. I'm just going to put a pin on Highway 28 and then Gardner, right? Wasn't it Gardner? Yeah, there it is. Oh, so it's right there too. That's kind of a random pin placement there that was almost right on the money. Let's see. So an area near Louisiana Highway 28 West near Gardner. So somewhere out in that area right there. You know, we're not going to get to know exactly, but so somewhere out here in that far away from, and I don't know what town. Let me see what town this is. Just a second. Yeah, this is Oakdale right here. All right. So again, we're going back in time to 1980. Three blind mice. Is that the joke? I thought it was three blind mice. Oh yeah, where were they going? That is what it is. I just watched all those again the other day, Billy Boy Blue, by the way.
Three blind mice. Where the F***K were they going? Question mark.
Yeah. All right. So it was almost dark when an investigator and deputy coroner reached the scene off the old Nichols Cemetery Road. Oh, let's see if we can find that. I think I did find that earlier. Let's see. Old Nichols. How's that spelled? Just a second. They might not even call it that. Let me just look at that again. Old Nichols Cemetery Road. All right. Old Nichols Cemetery Road. Oh, so it's way up there. Okay. So that's the cemetery. So off of this road. Okay, so it's not even close to where they were just saying right there. No, it's actually, it's not too far away. Yeah, it was west of Gardner and then right over there. So let's just say it's here, okay? So let's say the body was found in that area right there. And there you go. There's some sound effects in the background, everybody. Let's see. Reached the scene off the old Nichols Cemetery Road Wednesday. Therefore, the investigation had to be resumed this morning. It was the remains of a small woman or a girl with red hair, a sheriff's spokesman said. At the scene today, Deputy William Earl Hilton said it appeared the body had been there about 2 years. He and Frank Melder, a coroner's investigator, explained the remains were scattered over a wide area and no clothing was found. All right. And then the third old file, this is actually November 15th, 1980, so months later. Experts say a skeleton found in Rapids was a young woman. Authorities know more about the woman whose skeletal remains were found Wednesday, but they are still far from identifying her. Actually, excuse me. I think I'm, what was that again? Let me make sure. Oh no, so this is November 7th. So November 11th was just 4 days after that. Wasn't up as far as I was thinking. Or 15th. So it's November 15th, maybe a week and a half later. But they made an identification. They were able to say that it was a young woman definitively. The skeleton was found by a hunter. This is also the Town Talk newspaper. Forensic anthropologist Dr. Doug Owsley of Louisiana State University, who examined the remains, said the body was that of a white female 15 to 20 years old who was 5'1" to 5'4" tall. Strands of red hair were found near the skeleton. Owsley said the red hair was synthetic. So the hair that they found was actually not even real hair. It was believed to be part of a fall. Is that what now is called a weave? The woman was wearing. The anthropologist speculated the woman was probably a blonde or brunette. Oh, yeah. I mean, why don't you cover the whole range? Hey, I'm guessing you're either a blonde or a brunette. Okay, well, I mean, how come you were... That's such a crazy range at that point. You know, yes, we know it's maybe not red hair now, but you said blonde or brunette. Oh, so it's a fake ponytail? Okay. That was like a clip, okay. The anthropologist speculated the woman was probably a blonde or a brunette. He said the body was on the scene anywhere from 6 months to 2.5 years. So it's possible that it was 6 months, but as long as 2.5 years. We're probably looking at something that happened in the last 1.5 years, he said. His findings were turned over to the I'm not sure if it's Rapids, but Rapides, like maybe it's Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office. The coroner, Dr. E. Hunt Sherman, said the body had bony abnormalities, which could help lead to identification, particularly if x-rays of the skull, chest, or abdomen were available. He said no cause of death has been determined, but the circumstances suggest foul play. Anyone knowing of a missing person fitting the description is asked to call the sheriff's office. If possible, supply x-rays. That would help the identification. And then I really didn't find much at all after that. It just, I'm sure there's articles here and there throughout the years, but I didn't know how. Sometimes it's hard to put the right words in, because sometimes they change how they refer to this person. Like maybe they would say unidentified woman, but back then it was, you know, a skeleton was found, skeletal remains. That'll lead to correct search at some point. But these are the stories that were out originally. And then there was just nothing happened. Nobody got arrested, nothing. Okay, and now we're going to move forward in the time here. And I'm going to put this link in here. On November 5th, this is the one we were talking about reading a minute ago, the complainant reported the remains were located in a wooded area near Nichols Cemetery Road. The investigation was originally assigned to then Detective William E. Hilton. Hilton initiated the investigation immediately, which included reviewing missing persons report from the Rapids Parish area as well as the surrounding states. Representatives from Louisiana State University, Repository for Missing and Unidentified Persons, also known as the FACES Lab, assisted with the investigation. The repository was able to establish the victim was a Caucasian female between approximately 16 and 21 years of age at the time of her death. It was believed the victim's remains were exposed to the elements between approximately 2 months up to one or more years. So they got that a little more narrow. It wasn't 6 months to 2.5 years. It was 2 months to one or more years. That's pretty ambiguous to say more. The repository also assisted with the documentation of the victim's DNA profile. FACES composed a reconstruction of the victim's skull, which provided investigators a likeness of the victim. A photograph of the reconstruction was later placed on the repository website. Over the years, it would be shared on many other web-based sites. See, this is one of the ones where DNA Doe and the other one, you know, and Parabon, they aren't the ones that solved it. It literally was somebody recognizing the sculpture, if you can believe it. And let me show you this right here. That's the sculpture. It's pretty good, right? I mean, this is a sculpture here. It's not perfect, but it's not bad, right? I mean, if this girl wasn't smiling on the left, it might be a way better match. As time progressed, the case became cold. It was reviewed by several detectives at the sheriff's office, but remained unsolved. Now listen to this part. In 2014, the sheriff's office received information in reference to the case. So they received information in reference to the case. I'm kind of wondering if it was a jailhouse snitch or somebody that they had told years before, but let's see what it says. In 2014, the sheriff's office received information in reference to the case. Detectives furthered their investigation, which resulted in Leo Laird, 64, and Gary Joseph Heyman, 54, both of Oakdale, being identified as suspects. All right, well, here's what's weird is, okay, 54, and you're looking at 1980 is 39 years ago. So that means Gary Joseph was either 15 or 16, but as early as even 14, because remember they said it could have been 2 years. So you're looking at, Joseph Heyman could have been 14 to 16 years old at the time. And then you add 10 years, so it would have been 24 to 26 for Leo Laird. What are you guys referring to in there? Are you guys following along? Oh boy. Doesn't sound like it's interesting. Every comment in there has nothing to do with what we're actually talking about. Boy. Man. Let me do the this one. Yeah. So basically what we got here is her body was found in 1980, but it could have been there as early as 1978. She was 16 to 21 years old. Some intel in 2014 put the two people that I just mentioned at the top of a suspect list, but they still had no identity of her. That's what's crazy, is they didn't even have a name of her and no DNA, and somehow their names came to the top of a list. So you'd think it would be some sort of a informant. So they could have been 14 to 16, the younger person, which would have been Gary Joseph Hammond. He would have been 14 to 16. And Leo Laird would have been 24 to 26. Right. Okay, and then on August 14th, Laird was taken into custody. Oh, wait, let me move. I'm missing some parts here. In July 2019, the Sheriff's Office received information relating to the identity of the victims. Okay. Donna was approximately 18 years of age at the time of her death. Had been residing in Alexandria. Yeah, so remember they said 16 to 21? That's right on the money, right in the middle there. In July 2019, the Sheriff's Office received information relating to the identity of the victims. So that was just this last month. With the assistance of FACES and Louisiana State Police Crime Labs, DNA testing identified the victim as Donna Gayle Brazzell. Donna was approximately 18 years of age at the time of her death and had been residing in Alexandria. Sufficient probable cause was established, which resulted in warrants being granted for Laird's and Hammond's arrest in reference to first-degree murder, first-degree rape, and aggravated kidnapping. On August 14th, Laird was taken into custody without incident and booked into the Rapids Parish Detention Center, where he remains. Bonds were set in reference to the charges of first-degree rape and aggravated kidnapping, totaling $1 million. Bonds have yet to be set in reference to the charges of first-degree murder. So those are first-degree rape and just aggravated kidnapping, got that. Hammond is currently in the custody of Louisiana Department of Corrections. So Hammond up here, the younger, let me get that right. Let's make sure I get that right. Yeah, so Gary Joseph Hammond, the younger of the two, he's already in prison. And Louisiana Department of Corrections in reference to conviction relating to a second-degree kidnapping, first-degree robbery, and public bribery. Hammond is currently serving a 49-year sentence and is currently projected to be released in 2047. So I guess that means he's been in prison probably since 1999. Detectives state their investigation is still ongoing and additional charges may be filed. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, here's what I bet happened. So, since he's been in prison since 1999, I bet you he's talked to different cellmates from time to time. And probably in 2014, he told the wrong person, and that person got a better deal or something like that. I just can't. I'm having a hard time with no DNA or anything like that. How there was a lead that came in that pointed directly to those very same two people. Okay, now I'm going to go back in time here. So here's just a picture of her, by the way. So I guess she was around 18 at the time. And the grandmother of her is the one who saw the sculpture and asked, hey, could this be my daughter or my granddaughter? And then DNA was collected and it turned out, yes, it was. Yeah. I guess it's possible somebody like DNA Doe or Parabon were involved, maybe with the DNA aspect of it. Because they're usually the ones that know how to do the extraction. That's to get the best sample. Alright, so that's her. And they just identified her in July. Although they had the same... the suspects already... were suspects all that whole time, and then finally when they identified her, they made the arrest. So they must have, you know, determined they were suspects and then knew the connection between them. And then once there was an identity made, they went, okay, boom. So maybe the connection has something to do with her too, and that's why they became suspects in 2014. They just had to verify somehow that was her. But it doesn't, but I don't know, because the grandmother is the one that came forward. So now we're going to go back in time and look at some of these like Leo Laird here, for example. Look at this. See, these are all these different times. Just little random blurbs, but he's in the paper. And this is from 1979. This is right around the time. So I think I'm identifying the stressors in these killers. You know, the actual time where they, you know, wanted to exact some rage or, you know, some payback on a woman. So right here it says, let's see, what's this one? Defaults were entered in the following: Louisiana National Bank of Baton Rouge, Janet Butler, Phyllis Laird versus Leo Laird. I know that there was a divorce in here. Some of these things are kind of hard to make out, but it's like this one. Let me pull out these other ones. I just kind of kept everything that I could associate. Phyllis Laird versus Leo Laird, judgment rendered in favor of plaintiff, so probably Phyllis, awarding divorce and custody of child. Judgment signed. And this is 1983. So this is 3 years after that. So this guy's got a lot of stuff going on with his with his wife, and he's constantly in the paper for different violation. Let's see what this one is. So this is actually 1974. David Gene Evans and Margaret Sue Messer, Leo Laird, and Deborah Ann at Nolan William custody. I don't know what that was for. See, a lot of times they're mentioned in there, but I just copied it because I can see it's the same person. So this guy is always in the legal part of this paper. It's pretty amazing. They have this section that just goes through anything that's legal going on in the town, and you see it. And so this guy pops up a lot. So Leo Laird, suspended driver's license, speeding, trial set January 25th, 1979. Wouldn't that be weird if this is the night that they, I mean, the odds are 1 in a million, but look at that. It's 1979. That's right in the window of when she could have been killed. And he's speeding around. Yeah. But people speed all the time, I'm just saying. Wouldn't that be weird if it was that night? I wonder if they could get a more exact time that Donna went missing. Because there must be somebody that said, oh yeah, well, she was here, and then we hadn't seen her since this month. Has to be somebody that knows that. Okay, now here's another one. Leo Laird, speeding, $100 and $23 costs or 45 days in jail. So he's speeding again. That's May 17th, 1979. So it could be that one too. Who knows? I'm just finding all the different references to him. These are all these are all actually in the newspaper though, which is a little different. But some of these get pretty, they change in tone here coming up. So Leo Laird, suspended driver's license as to contempt charge, trial set for April 26th. Now things are getting a little bit more serious. May 17th, 1979. Okay, now Lennox Laird, I think, is his father. Partial judgment of dismissal rendered and signed as a plaintiff. Debbie Laird, that's I think his wife, and Leo Laird as administrators of the estate of his minor son against all defendants, reserving plaintiff Lennox Laird as against all parties, and particular as against. I don't know what this is. Maybe like. Just some sort of a will or something like that. I don't know. But again, every time his name popped up, I saved it. Okay, so let's go to this one. I mean, some of these are more interesting than other ones. So, and then this one was kind of interesting because here's the Lennox Laird. So that's what I'm saying. I think maybe that was a will. This is 1988. These are almost all the Oakdale Journal. And then you see in here there's Lennox Laird, Leo Laird, and these are all the same people that show up on another website where his address that was listed by the police just recently shows up under. Like this guy is this is that person. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. Disturbing the peace, Leo Laird, Oakdale. Simple criminal damage to property, aggravated assault, Wilkes Laird, Oakdale. All right. Lake Charles, simple battery, 6 months, PJ suspended, $500 fine, court costs, Leo Laird, Oakdale, indecent behavior with a juvenile. See here, now we're getting into the really serious shit here. See that? Indecent behavior with a juvenile, fined $1,000 and court costs. He got a 4-year sentence, but it was 3.5 years suspended, so I guess 6 months, and then credit for time served. So now you can see where he, let's see. Hold on, let me look at that again. And so this is 95, so he's still acting out on some of these, his predisposition to attack a young person. I mean, it's pretty weird. I mean, I wonder if they were aware of the guy even during this time and were kind of still following what he was doing. Yeah, now look at this crazy thing here. This is 1995, and he had to put this in the paper. This is him making a public notification that he's basically a registered sex offender. Under Act 962 of the 1992 legislature, I am required to advise you that my name is Leo Laird and that I have been convicted of indecent behavior with a juvenile. My address is Route 1, Box 156B, Oakdale. Okay, so he had to put that out there in the public, and let's see if there's one more. And this one is 2007, Leo Laird, 52, and that makes sense, right? Because if you go add 12 years to that, that would make him 64, and that's exactly how old he is right now. And let's see, Laird 52, Elizabeth, bench warrant failure to appear. So he didn't have quite as bad of a, he's a monster, but his overall jail time, and he was still free when he was just arrested recently. All right, so now we're going to go to the other guy. the younger one. And that's Gary Joseph Heyman. And I'm just going to go, these are all in order here. 1982. So in 82, this guy would be like 17 years old. 18 maybe. Let's see. Commercial Union Insurance Company et al. Versus J.S. Heyman, parent and natural tutor of minor, probably like a parent. Gary J. Heyman, judgment rendered in favor of plaintiff, judgment signed. So I don't know if that means they won something against this insurance company, or the insurance company didn't have to pay up for something that happened. So he was at that time only like 17 years old. And then 1983. And look at this. See, now this is where Gary Heyman starts really, he's racking up the instances where you start getting bigger and bigger sentences. Gary J. Heyman, flight from police officer, trial set for May 16th. Gary Heyman Gary Heyman theft, trial set for May 16th. Gary J. Heyman, careless and reckless driving, trial set for May 16th. So probably he stole something and then he fled from police, and in doing so drove recklessly and carelessly from them. Okay, so you've got that. And that was 1983. Then I didn't really find much. There probably were articles, but I just didn't find any of them. So in 2000, which would make him, because he was like 18 and 83, you know, he's in his 30s now, in 2000. Let's see. Yeah, this is May 2000, right? Okay, so his date of birth was 82. And I think that makes sense. Yeah, that does. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. I don't think that's this person, though. I think what it is they... See, in these papers, they just kind of list them all stacked on top of each other. He's right down here. Gary Joseph Heyman, his birthday, there he is, 3/8/65. That's absolutely makes sense. So 65, it's 2000, so he'd be 35 years old. Oakdale charged 2 counts of simple burglary, sentenced to 5 years, hard labor. Nice. They need to do a little bit more of that hard labor action, don't you think? Heyman Gary Joseph of 278 Dovey Laird Road, Oakdale, simple escape. So he escaped again. Oh, I'm not sure why you'd call it simple escape. Then 270, also on August 1999, felony theft, burglary. And then I'm going back in time on some of these right here. This is 1990, so I guess there was some back in, hold on, let me open this up. Guess maybe I have too many open, let me shut these down now. Oh, there's so many of them. Hold on. I'm going to shut these down. I think it's too many files open at one time. I think it's just sort of interesting to go back in time and see what they were up to. So look at this one. Now let's go over this article here. So this is from 1990. An Oakdale man who escaped once from the Evangeline Parish jail escaped again, this time from the Mamou City jail Monday afternoon. Sheriff Merton Solou said Gary Joseph Heyman escaped through the front door of the Mamou jail during feeding time. Heyman reportedly stole a car part. What does that mean? Stole a car part on East Street, leaving the car and escaped into the woods near Beaver Creek at a roadblock set up by police. Heyman, 25, was the focus of a 2-day manhunt in the wooded area around Bayou Chicote last August after he led deputies on a high-speed chase. So that's the one we just were talking about a minute ago, where he had reckless endangerment. Speed chase when deputies were about to question him about an armed robbery. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. So he stole something, and the police came up on him, and then he took off, and so then he got evading police, and then he got the endangerment. Heyman jumped from the car after colliding with the deputy's car and fled on foot into the woods. Upon his capture, Heyman was charged with the robbery. In early October, Heyman and another Parish prisoner escaped from the prison. Heyman reached Pitkin before turning himself into law authorities. Heyman is described as being 5'9", 150 pounds, brown hair, green eyes, light complexion, with a mustache and a bunny head tattoo on his chest. He was last seen wearing a brown plaid shirt, blue jeans, and tennis shoes. He's not considered violent. So there you go, man. This guy is a barbarian. I think I have one more here from a month later, or actually been a week later. And look at it. Like we were looking at, that's on the 29th. So 11 days later, he's still out on the run. An Oakdale man who escaped from the Mamou City Jail on November 26 remains at large, according to a spokesman for the Evangeline Parish. He escaped, let's see, Heyman reportedly stole a car parked on East Street, leaving the car and escaping into the woods near Beaver Creek at a roadblock set up by police. Heyman, 25, was the focus of a 2-day manhunt in the wooded areas around Bayou Chico. Yeah, so anyways, they didn't catch him for a while, but obviously they caught him at some point. And then now he's been in prison, it sounds like, since 1999 on a 49-year sentence. And it doesn't sound like his parole is anytime soon. And I think the last article I was going to read was on this case is this one. So there you see her again. That's the sculpture, and that's her face right there. A picture provided probably by a family member. It just seems so odd again. Like, didn't anybody file a missing persons report? Maybe because she was 18, you guys didn't do it, but why not? Two Oakdale men have been arrested in a cold case homicide. Okay, and this is towntalk.com, probably more of a local type paper or website. Two Oakdale men have been arrested in a cold case homicide, accused in the kidnapping, rape, and homicide of an 18-year-old woman whose remains were found in the Gardner area in November 1980. The identity of the victim, Donna Gayle Brazzell, remained a mystery until July, when the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office got information about her identity that was confirmed through DNA testing. Sheriff William Earl Hilton, who was assigned to the case when Brazzell's remains were discovered, said Tuesday that detectives were contacted by a Pineville woman who believed the woman might be her granddaughter. The grandmother had seen the facial reconstruction right there of the then unknown victim done by Louisiana State University Repository for Missing and Unidentified Persons. We got DNA from them and sent it to the lab, and we had hit on it, he said. We had a hit on it. Brazzell had been living in the Alexandria-Pineville area at the time of her death. Her remains likely were in the woods for between 2 months to 1 year or more. That's so broad. Well, likely to be there for 2 months or 1 year or more. Well, so you've just said, so basically 2 months to what, 3 years? You're not really being very specific there. It seems like you should have been able to narrow it down a little bit further. If you can say, when did she disappear from any known family member or friend or anybody? I'm sure they'll be able to narrow this down further now that her name's out there. A friend of hers will say, oh, God, you know what? I actually remember exactly when that was. I always wondered where the hell she was. In fact, I thought maybe she was the person that they found. You'd think somebody would come forward. So, Brazzell had been living in Alexandria, Pineville area at the time of her death. Her remains likely were in the woods for between 2 months to 1 year or more, but her identification happened 5 years after the sheriff's office received other information that led detectives to identify Leo Laird, 64, and Gary Joseph Heyman, 54, as suspects. So I really want to know what that was. It was probably a jailhouse informant or somebody out there that knew the truth and came forward. Thanks, Billy Boy Blue again. What's in the bowl?
Little Miss on a tuffet eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider. He sat A down beside her. He said, "Hey, what's in the bowl, Beach?"
That's right. What's in the bowl, Beach? There you go. Yeah, nothing wrong with saying beach, right? I'm just going to read some comments for a minute. Well, at least I thought the story was interesting. But her identification happened 5 years after the sheriff's office received other information that led detectives to identify Leo Laird, 64, and Gary Joseph Heyman, 54, as suspects. After Brazzell was identified, warrants were obtained for Laird and Heyman on charges of first-degree murder, first-degree rape, and aggravated kidnapping in the 39-year-old case. Laird, of the 1600 block of Louisiana Highway 10 in Oakdale, was arrested on August 14th. He was booked into Rapides Parish Detention Center, where he remains. So Heyman, this guy here on the left, look at these guys. Jesus. Yeah. Look at this barbarian over here. This guy's got a little shit-eating grin on his face. That's right when you want to get out, punch him in the face, you know. Look at that little smirk. Yeah. So he was set to be released in 2047, which never would actually happen. But arrangements are in place to have Heyman booked into the Rapides Parish Detention Center in reference to his new charge, if it reads. So I guess he'll be moved and get ready for another trial, which would probably mean that he'll never get out. I wonder how they're going to prove that, this whole thing, though. Repeaties detectives have retrieved Heyman from the Louisiana State Penitentiary when they got the information that he might be connected to the case. Heyman was in Alexandria for several weeks, so detectives could interview him and continue the investigation. The case had been opened on November 5th, 1980, when the sheriff's office got a report about skeletal remains found in a wooded area off Louisiana Highway 28. See, when you see a case like this, it gives you so much more hope for the Delphi case. I mean, how in the hell this case ever got solved is mind-boggling. You've got skeletal remains. Doesn't sound like they had any DNA at all. There was no movement in the case for 35 years. And then a lead came in. And they became suspects 5 years before she was ever even identified. That's crazy. So this is that same article that I found on newspapers.com. Hilton knew the hunter who found the remains, a man who was rabbit hunting with some beagles in the area late that afternoon. One of the beagles began baying, but it wasn't a rabbit that had attracted the dog's attention. He went over there and it was a skull, said Hilton. So, God, imagine hunting. This is about the third story this year we've covered where a dog encountered a skull. But imagine you have some beagles and they're out making their sounds that they make, and boom, it's over standing next to a skull on the ground. Hilton and Frank Melder, then an investigator from the Rapides Parish Coroner's Office, had to return to the scene the next day to continue the investigation. Let's see. The lab had done DNA profile and reconstruction of Brazzell's face that was shared on the website. Over the years, it would be shared on many other web-based sites along with social media sites, reads the release. On Tuesday, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children updated its Facebook page with the news of Brazzell's identification and the arrest. It thanked its followers for the help. So yes. See, this is a cool one, because this is one that was actually solved based off of a mold, a sculpture that somebody made, not a mold, a sculpture, and somebody thought it looked enough like their grandchild. It's just, again, it's like it came down to the grandmother. I mean, what about the mom? Why didn't she ever think, man, I better report her missing? I haven't heard from her for a long time. And this is probably another case where she may have been estranged from the family and been out on her own anyways, and the family just thought, well, she just disappeared. And she's out there somewhere. She just doesn't want to talk to us. That's probably what they think. All right. Well, basically, that's it on that one. Okay, but I thought I'd do a deeper dive on it because I love these older ones that are solved, and I also thought it was a little bit weird how they had the two main suspects 5 years ago off of some sort of information without ever even having her identification. And then finally they identified her, and then that must have even provided more information that puts them in the same area. And so they made the arrest. Yes, Shogun. What's up? Yeah, that's what I already said that though, Shogun, about 10 times earlier. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I just want to know for sure what it was. But I think that maybe when he was in jail, like maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because he's been in jail since 1999. So at that point, somebody all through those years may have said something to he may have said something to the wrong person, and then they may have gotten out early by coming forward. Who knows? But it would have been somebody within the last 5 or 6 years to do that. Help with what? What are you talking about, Sharon? I have no idea what you're talking about. I try to do a show, and it's hard to follow along when somebody says, Gray, Stephanie Kelly would like your help. With what? I don't know what you're talking about. Right, yeah. I already said that a long time ago. I always think it's weird, well, more interesting when you go back in time and you find like the original articles of when a body was found, and then you realize that for 39 years there was no identity, but now there is. And then you go back and you think, wow, that's what her name was right then, but nobody knew it. Yeah, they're definitely, hey Jay, I'll try to help, man. How can I help, man? We need the rap, Jay. You've never sent that in yet, but you got to do it to the rap to the Australian killer. That beat. Evan this and Evan that. I can't rap, so I say that. Oh, look at there's Randy Gravitt, the alien. Area 51. That's his new gig, everybody. He's an alien. So what's going on in the chat? Like, what's going on? What's going on, Stephanie? A lot of conversation around you. What's going on? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I keep reading comments, but nobody ever clears up what's going on. I'm just going to wait until somebody actually answers it. Hey, thanks, Edna. I don't think it's working, Randy. Your alien channel. It's not. You're not getting a lot of people watching it. It looks cool though. You got a little alien hat on your head and dark in the room. Oh, 1981. Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, well, send me an email or something about it, okay? I just, when we're doing a show and you start talking about your own personal thing that happened to you, then it starts this whole conversation and nobody's actually, I spent hours and hours and hours doing the research for this, and it's, I don't know, it gets a little frustrating for me. But yeah, go ahead and send me like an email with all your information on it. That'd be great. Yeah. Okay, well, why didn't the police find bullet holes? Yeah, who knows, right? Yeah. Okay, though, this is the new information
Potential new
on
twist in the murder case involving.
Well, it's not even really new, okay? I'm not even going to go into it, but Patrick Frazee is going to name somebody. Well, thanks, Billy Boy Blue. You're the, I think you're the only one tipping. You've done it like 5 times. You don't have to keep sending it in. You know, I always feel bad when somebody keeps tipping. Furious anger. Oh, that's from. I know that.
And I will
crap.
strike down upon thee
Pulp
with
Fiction.
great
Pulp Fiction.
vengeance and furious anger those who
I like
would
that one.
attempt
That's
to
a cool
poison and
quote.
destroy my. You will know my name is the Lord. When I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Yeah, I always liked that one. Hey, thanks, Patricia. $6.99. That's such a specific number. I'm waiting for like the 426, you know, like some kind of. No, you're not, Billy Boy Blue. What I'm saying is, I don't want, you know, I feel bad that you're the only one, you know, like, I don't know how to word it. Like you're, I mean, I appreciate that you're contributing to the channel. I just don't want you to feel like, hell, I don't know how to word it. Sorry, guys. I suck. Yeah. Yeah, just send me an email, Stephanie. All right? Please. Slimmed up. Oh, there's the 426. I was joking. Come on. That was a joke. Right. So listen, in the, you know, the case of Kelsey Barrett with Patrick Frazee, you know, who do you think, what do you think his defense would be? What is the natural defense? What do you think? Well, thanks, Billy Boy Blue. Appreciate it. I think it's obvious. The whole time I've said he is going to blame Crystal, right? It's really obvious, okay? But I have a $100 bet with, I think it's like Perplexed, Laura is her name, that she thinks that Patrick Frazee will get off, and because it's Crystal who actually is the real killer. And then I sent her the article today, and she says, "Oh, that must have been tough. Oh, wow, yeah, I'm not really this, I'm not really that. I really know what I'm talking about." And I'm like, no, I sent it to you just because I know you'd be excited about it, but it has nothing. That's his only option, is to try to blame somebody else, which is Crystal. And yeah, she makes a pretty good, you know, Denny suspect.
As close as I could get to dollar.
Well, thank you. Daddy-o. All right, so that's what the new information is that he's going to name somebody that he is going to say is the killer, and it'll probably end up being Crystal. Right? Big deal. Now, you know, the things that I would say that are a little weird with Crystal is that, you know, she took the car of her friend, and there was a gun in the car, and apparently one of the bullets is missing, or, you know, is missing from the gun, according to the friend. And that she's also was there a couple other times to kill Kelsey, but didn't do it. So that's sort of in her favor, because she didn't do it those times. Why would she do it the third time? And she wasn't even in town during that time. Okay, so I don't think she killed. I think she got a hell of a deal, but I really do not believe that Crystal killed Kelsey Barrett. All right, at all. And I think it's almost absurd to think that. I can see how you can make the argument, but it's just weak. You know, they're going to have ping information that's going to be able to track her phone, and it's going to come down, and it's going to be 2 days after Kelsey went missing, or, you know, a day or two, you know, however long it took her to get there. It's just not going to, it's going to be obvious. Right. All right. Well, she claims she left a little bit of blood out so they could find it. I don't believe that at all. I think she just... I think the deal she got was a good deal. I don't know how long she's going to be. Does she serve? How much prison time does she serve? Does anybody know the answer to that? I don't even remember what the deal was. But I think she's immune at this point. So law enforcement must have known, after communicating with her and based on all the information that they gathered, they must have realized that he is the killer. They just need her to be able to put him away. Even though she did some crappy stuff, they're willing to cut her a deal because he is way worse than she is. All right? And I think I'd do the same thing. As a matter of fact, I wish there was more deal cutting, especially with death row serial killer types. I would say, listen, we won't... you get life in prison, but let us know where the bodies are. I would do that all the time to give some sort of, you know, I'm not going to say closure, but at least a family can bury a person. Yeah, 0 to 24 months sentence after 10 months. Well, is she in prison right now, or is she out free walking around? Oh, yeah? Well, thank you. Edna, I'll check it out at the end there. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to now move on to the next one. Oh, yeah. So this is a case that we've covered on here many times. Now, remember the two twins? So he eventually has been charged with their murders. Not twins, the brothers, sorry. I'm sorry I said twins. The two brothers that went with they were trying to buy cattle from this guy. Something happened, and he killed him, and then looks like he probably burnt their bodies on the property, then dropped the car off miles away in a little parking area in that town. Something like that. So. No, wait, excuse me. He didn't get charged with murder. It was something endangering the food supply. So they keep lumping stuff on. I don't know why they can't just say, listen, if you found their bodies, little chunks of their body on his property, isn't it really just obvious that he killed them? I don't think you need to keep Mickey Mousing all these other things in there. Endangering the food supply. Prosecutors say Nelson didn't have proper health papers when he took 35 calves from his family's farm in Missouri to a farm in Fort Scott, Kansas in May. Prosecutors allege Nelson abandoned a rental truck used by Justin and Nick Diemel of Shawano County, Wisconsin, after the brothers visited the Nelson farm in Brayer, Missouri. The brothers were reported missing July 21st and are presumed dead. Right. But haven't you already said that you found evidence on the property? They had a tent there. Anyways, not really earth-shattering information, but it was new on that case. All right. Get that one out the hell out of the way there. Hey, thanks, Mo, on Streamlabs, obviously. I'm so mean.
Thanks, Gray. Appreciate every minute of every show, even though you are still so mean. Victory hand.
That's what I like it when you got to put the little space in the O's for it to do that. Yes, hit the like button, everybody. Here we go. I think that's the right one.
I'm fired out of it, 10 down, 15, all my better than 15, I'm better than 15, 20, I'm better than 15, better than 20, I'm fired out of 30, and 30, and 30, 25, better than 30, you want to put 30, sir, 25, to them, you're out, I'm better than 25, better than 30, 30, now 5.
30, 40. Alright. Hey, thanks, Nordman!
Next, they'll give the killer a parking ticket for the rental truck.
Yeah, just nickeling and diming. Yes. Unlawfully abandoning a vehicle. Parking a vehicle with no intent to retrieve. They'll call that littering at some point, right? Littering. He put a car where he... Oh, my God, look at JK. So here we get with the crazy cat eyes coming. Wait, is this the rap? Let's see. About true crime. He's always talking about true crime, regulating his time, and keeping up the freaks in line, roasting the chat for posting comments. Whack! Hi this, hi that. Nice to see you in the chat.
HUZZE.
Just listen and pay attention.
He's
Is my
always talking
show.
true crime, regulating his time and keeping the freaks in line. Roasting the chat for posting comments so whack. Hi this, hi that. Nice to see you in the chat. Just listen and pay attention, it's my show. Not to mention.
Oh man, I gotta get... Yeah, what was after that? Not to mention what? Hughesy's always talking about true crime. Regulation is his time and keeping up the freaks in line. Roasting the chat for posting comments so whack. Hi this, hi that. Nice to see you in the chat. Just listen and pay attention to my show. Not to mention... Okay, I didn't have any more to go after that. But yes, I think you've got the right beat to the weirdo from Australia. So what are we going to put after mention? I'm going to save the text up here. And then we're gonna, but Hughesy isn't part of it, right? Like you're just referencing me, or let me get that. Let's see, J.K. Rap. I gotta get this. I gotta make it to a beat. So you got any more? Put the rest of it in there, since you ran out of room. All right, because I've got it saved in a file, and then I'm going to try to put it to an actual beat. Oh man, I'm not going to say your name. I know what you're doing there. Thanks, Mike.
Love from Mike Hunt.
Oh, jeez. God dang it. It actually read it. Oh man. Oh boy. Sorry about that. It's like one of those airport Hey, it's Donna V on Streamlabs. I'm still adding stuff that JK
We love y'all, Gray. Hard.
Yeah. Thank you. Love you guys too. Raven's sitting there quietly in the background, and then he heard something funny, and then bang, he comes in. I haven't seen oh hell, all of a sudden their name isn't popping into my head. The one that always laughs all the time. Darn it. Yeah, that's right. Nenny Bat? Oh, God. Nettie Bats, right? Nettie, oh my God. Isn't it Nettie Bats or something like that? Nenny C, yeah, Nenny C. That's right. Where the hell is she? I haven't seen her in a while. Yeah, you got to add to it. I'm gonna get a beat somewhere and do it. No, I forgot. I was gonna try to stream to Dlive as well tonight, but forget it. Maybe next time. That's a crazy cat. Yeah, with the eyes circling around. Okay. So you guys remember this case at all? I read through it and then I kind of remembered how this all went. This is the girl that was camping with friends and was going to drive into town to get some food, and then she got lost, talked to a trucker, and she just disappeared. And then we were thinking and then there was some records of drug use and meth and that kind of thing. Well, today, August 18th, investigators from Sublette and Fremont County have responded to the Leeds Creek area on Fremont County as the vehicle Aubree Corona was reported to be driving when she went missing was located on a non-traveled road in that area. And when they found the vehicle wasn't operable. Like something happened to it. It broke down. At the time of this release, the Sublette County Sheriff's Office had no indication of Aubree's location. However, detectives are now actively working the scene for clues, and Sublette County Sheriff's Office will release more information as it becomes available. And she was listed as a missing person. Okay. Now, I think this is the next article in that one. Search and rescue members locate body of missing Aubree Corona. Okay. Yesterday, August 20th, 2019, search and rescue personnel found the body of Aubree Corona, who had been missing. And I think that's what we kind of ended up with at the very end. Do you remember how... I know it has. That was the next article Kraft said. You got to wait about 10 seconds, all right? Yeah. So I think that's what we kind of came up with at the end. At first it sounded kind of dodgy with the truck drivers and all that, but when we started looking into that she'd been doing drugs and that kind of thing, it seemed like a good chance that she just kind of went off the road somewhere. Right? She even had the motorcycle too. A new joint search and rescue mission conducted by Fremont and Sublette County was initiated when the vehicle she was reported to be driving when she went missing had been discovered over the weekend. It seems weird that it took that long for somebody to come across that vehicle. The vehicle, which was found on a remote, non-traveled road, but it was still a road, you'd think people travel on roads like that. Even when you say non-traveled, well, it's a road, right? And she went on it, so maybe other people went on there. Was located in Fremont County in the Leeds Creek area. And so, let's see, what was her name again? Aubree, right? So, I think I even have that in the map here. Yeah, Aubree Corona right there. So I remember we had things mapped out, like the Union Pass there. I think they were kind of camping down in this area. And I think that other area was up in there, like up in this area. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time looking at it. They have found her, and that's good news. The vehicle was found to have approximately a half of a tank of gas remaining when it was found. The vehicle was found to be inoperable and would not be able to be restarted. So it had gas in it, so it broke down for another reason. Detectives also found the missing dirt bike to be leaned over inside the back of the truck, consistent with reported sightings of her and the truck on the 13th of July. I mean, I wonder how she died, though. I mean, I know you can get exposure, but I mean, you know, why not go back out on the road that you went in there on? Searchers had begun covering the area Monday where the truck was located. On Tuesday, searchers had located Aubree approximately 1.3 miles away from where her truck was found. There was no cell phone coverage in that area, making cell phone ping attempts ineffective. No foul play is suspected at this time, and the cause of death is unknown at this time. Right, so it's either she died from maybe drug use, made her crash, and she just had there was a lot of drugs in her. Maybe she did more drugs. Who knows? Or, I mean, the most likely one is probably something like exposure, hypothermia. But she's only found 1.3 miles away from the vehicle. So it's not like she made a big effort to go try to find something. Not like remember the trucker story we did last year? That was one of the most interesting ones we ever did, actually, even though it wasn't a crime or anything. The trucker that went missing up in Oregon, and we almost completely tracked where he was. There was just no street view on the road that he was on. Remember, he walked something like 20-something miles over hills. It was amazing what he did. And he didn't even take any of the rations out of the truck that he was driving. Yeah. Well, it could be that the car wouldn't start, she couldn't get a hold of anybody, and she just sat there at the truck for a long time, thinking that, oh, maybe somebody will come. But why didn't she just walk out backwards? The way she came, she could have walked back out to a more main road. Right? But see, then that's where drugs come in. She was disoriented, and she starts just walking still forward down a dirt road, and then she kind of gets lost. But it sounds like they found her really quickly after they located the car. So I'll be interested to see how she actually passed away. Yeah, but why not stay in your car if it's dark, overnight? Yeah, the potato chip truck driver. That was a cool one. I thought that was one of the most interesting ones I've ever done on the show, even though it wasn't really a crime. It was just a mystery. An entire semi completely disappears off of the highway. A massive truck, and we're like, well, where is it then? And that's where you wish you had J Case vision, where you could literally see live footage, but we just kind of tracked down his route. They gave people information about GPS coordinates, and we kept following those around, and then we got on Street View and went, and there was this little bridge that we couldn't go over, but we looked at that area, and that is where he actually went over at some point. Yeah, well, that was like a year ago or something. That's pretty good. I think almost exactly a year ago. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jacob Cartwright. See, there it is. This is the one right here. It was wild. Look at how much stuff we were doing. It was amazing. So he drove all the way here on, I think that's 84, and then he cuts down over here, and his route was supposed to be the blue route. You see that blue route right there? Really straightforward route to Nyssa from Portland, I guess. He was supposed to take this blue route, but instead his GPS sent him this direction down this green. So he was starting to get in the middle of nowhere. And we knew all this stuff was in there. And let's see, where the hell was that? The street view here. Yeah, right there. Yeah, oh, that's what it was. So this is how it was supposed to work. So he got lost and he typed back in his GPS system, and it should have taken him on this green route back onto the blue route here, okay? So he got lost and he goes, oh, and he put it back in, and it should have taken him this direction. Okay, but it actually, this is what happened here. It was crazy. So we were following it along, and this literally happened on the show here. We were just like this, looking at the street view, going around this, crap. Look at that. Wow. What the hell happened there? Well, that didn't happen on it, but it was cool though. Let me try that again. Get right onto the street view there. Yeah, there we go. So we were driving around looking like, where could he have gone off? Because even the river's kind of shallow, and you're looking at the river and you're just kind of wondering, like, where in the hell could he possibly have gone? Because we traveled all up and down the entire freeway, going even past, but there was one point on the show, if you watch it, you can go back and watch. His name is Jacob Cartwright. We were driving around, because you look at that and you go, there's no way a semi is in the river anywhere, or they just see it, right? It's pretty obvious. Well, Gray, maybe the little narrow river is 20 feet deep. No, it's not. So right here, we got to this area, and then I remember crossing this, and we drove up as far as we could on this one, because it seemed like, well, wow, what if he went up here? And then we went up here, and I think it ends at a certain point. Let's see what... Yeah, so it keeps going. Let me see where it ends. I wonder if they've actually gone on there since then. Is it right there? Looks like it stops right there. No, keeps going. I wonder if they've added that to Street View since then. Oh, there it is. There it is. Right, so we went on this road, and I think at some point right in here, it goes a different direction. So we weren't able to go over this bridge right there. But he actually went over that bridge, if you can believe it. A semi-freaking truck with potato chips in it. He went over that little bridge there instead of continuing this way, because I think his GPS kept trying to get him back on track. So he went over that little tiny bridge there, and then his truck eventually, in the snow... There was snow on the ground. It was just ridiculous. It ends up right here, just sort of jackknifed on the side of the road. And then this guy literally walked from right here all the way over to, I think, La Grande. So look how far this is. Yeah, 20 miles, 20.7 miles, and that's if you just could fly there. But he's going up and down hills, probably not in a straight line, probably 25, 30 miles. All right. So, yes, that was very interesting. I don't know what you're talking about, Maureen. Yeah, nobody even said we were talking about Molly. So, not sure what you're even talking about. Yeah, that was crazy. I know, isn't that crazy? He didn't eat, that's why I was just saying a minute ago, he didn't eat any of the potato chips. He literally, I mean, he kept his job and everything, because it was really, it kind of seems like it came down to the GPS gave him the wrong coordinates. Yeah, his biggest mistake, though, was doing that. Somehow he ended up taking... off of 84 here, he was driving down 84, and then he ended up, instead of going straight through the town, he took this exit here, right like this, and then went onto this road. And so I don't know why he did that, but you know, it happened. What does that mean, Trey Nuggets? Yeah, so what? Yeah, that's great, Maureen. But yeah, we're not talking about Molly Tibbetts. Yeah. Right. She was found a year ago. I'm not big on doing the sort of anniversary sort of things like that. Okay, if you give me something interesting in the news, then I'll cover it, but that's all I'm talking about. But hey, if it is the 1 year anniversary, hey, I hope the barbarian that killed her gets put in jail for the rest of his life. Okay? His story was ludicrous. Alright, so that one's done. That one's done. Okay. Now, you remember this case right here? Let's see. At Libby Squire in England, we covered a few different times. We had the surveillance footage where this guy got out of a vehicle right at the exact time that she was there. Then you see him driving around through the streets. We had that surveillance footage. Well, he's been arrested again for murder. He's been free this whole time, actually. But he did just get arrested again, so hopefully that means they have a lot more information. Okay, so that's the update on that. And all these links are in the description of the video. I'm going to try to be more vigilant. I show them on the screen, so it should be obvious to be able to find them. But I'll put them in the description so that you guys can check them out on your own if you'd like. Hey, and that's, whoa, man, that's Cairo Al-Qadir. So, thank you very much, man. Very cool.
I appreciate you. You researched the freaks. And my special lady for understanding the pretty lady comment was a joke. She was watching, and probably is now.
Oh, man. See, I saved you there, Cairo. Come on. You see that he donated $51.43. I think that was an homage to my earlier joke about the unrounded numbers. Yeah, so check it out. Yeah, I think I saved Cairo. Right? His lady out there, that if you're listening, come on. Although I know how much he cares about you, so I wasn't really saving anybody. All right. Jack and Jill went up the hill, each with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. I think it's better just to leave it at that. You know, because that can make her a killer, or got it some other way. You know what I'm saying? That was for Billy Boy Blue. All right, now there's even an update. It's a big update night. Jules sent me all these, a lot of these updates. The main story that was sent, I can't remember who sent that one, but I went through and did all the research to go back in time to fill it in, so we actually knew who the hell that person was. The two killers were, and then see the original articles, and just kind of put the whole story together now. So all of you, when all of this stuff starts playing out, you're going to know all of the information that these guys were criminals. They're almost their entire life. One of them was even a registered sex offender, became one later. And, you know, just barbarians. All right, so you guys remember the Terry Sullivan one. That was the one where she was at her house and I think she was supposed to go to work or something like that, and then she went missing, and then just outside the house on the road they found her keys and so forth on the ground, maybe a wallet. I don't remember the exact specifics of it in my head, but then she just disappeared. Nobody found her. But then they found quite a bit later on some weird side road. Let me see if I have this. I should. This is where I think Craft Set was helping out on this one. Yeah, Terry Sullivan. There you go. Okay, yeah, this is where she lived, right here. And then apparently her car, you know, was taken out of here. She had a rental car. And then right in this area, somewhere around in here, they found some of her belongings on the ground. And I think even a little bit of blood. I thought I heard that. Okay, then let's see. I'm gonna see if we still have it marked. I know I lost a lot of stuff when I got a new computer. Oh, there's the car found location. So eventually, months later, they found the car somewhere around in this area. That doesn't look right though. Seems like we updated that, but regardless. Somewhere way out in this area here, they found a car that was burnt out and a body right next to the car. And it was Terry Sullivan's. And then they arrested her ex-husband and girlfriend at the time. And so let's see what this says here. This is News 5, WKRG. The capital murder case against two people accused of kidnapping and murdering a nurse is moving forward. Samuel and Jenny Sullivan had preliminary hearings in Washington County Court on Tuesday. A judge decided there was enough evidence in the case to move it forward. Samuel and Jenny Sullivan are charged with capital murder in the death of Terry Sullivan. Court documents say the suspects caused Sullivan's death by blunt force trauma during her abduction. See, that makes sense, right? I was just saying that I think they found a little bit of blood too, and then blunt force trauma creates a lot of, especially to the head, creates a lot of blood. Oh yeah, 143 does. I used to put 143 in notes. Oh wow. So Cairo's being monitored. Woohoo! That's getting serious now. All right. Yep. So listen, Cairo's telling his girl out there that he loves her with the 143. Okay? All right. Now the 5 was just helping a friend out with some, you know, the channel going. Yeah. So yeah, Stephanie, send me your links and so forth, okay? On what you think. I think you told me about this before, but I mean, you know, if you have articles and all that kind of stuff, send it in. "143" means I love you, and it's the number count. Like 1 means I, because there's one letter. 4 is love, because there's 4 letters in that. And then 3 is you, because there is 3 letters in you. All right? So Terry Sullivan's remains, along with their burned rental car, were discovered in March in Grand Bay. She worked as a nurse at Spring Hill Medical Center in Mobile. According to court documents, the two suspects purchased prepaid cell phones, which were activated. So this is new information right here. So these two suspects, they purchased prepaid cell phones. See, basically, prepaid cell phones are, I think they were trying to get like burner phones. I mean, I think that's what they call these. It didn't really work at all. Listen to this. According to court documents, the two suspects purchased prepaid cell phones, which were activated on the morning of the murder. Investigators traced those phones to the location where the abduction took place. So at her house, as well as the site where the burned car was discovered. I mean, yeah. So here's what they did. This is how it's going to play out. They have on surveillance one of these two idiots buying the burner phones. They went and looked at the receipt that matched the time. Then they were able to get this. They knew exactly which two phones were purchased at that exact time. Then they went out and did sort of the data dump off the cell towers and got the information from both of those cell phones that put them in both those locations. Isn't that awesome? Freaking amazing. What's a bird of prey? I don't get it. I'm confused. No, I think they are burner. I mean, aren't prepaid cell phones burner phones? Burner phones aren't immune to being pinged. They still have to contact towers, all that stuff. Right, so it's not, they are burner phones. But burner phones aren't fail-safe, like they just aren't associated with a name. So if you really want to do burner phones, you have to have a third person buy them and then give them to other people. Now those aren't associated. So these morons here went into the store, bought them themselves, and are on camera buying the burner phones. I guarantee this is how this worked. And then they looked at the time, the receipt, got the serial numbers of the phones, then were able to get the ping information from those burner phones. That's what my guess would be. Well, they already have that idea. You see it all the time. These people hand out burner phones, right? It just doesn't lead back to them because they weren't the one that made the call. Although in this case, it's like whoever it was that bought them would probably turn in the other two anyways to get off themselves. Yeah. Okay, so what else? That's about it on that one. See, it's kind of neat having these updates for these cases that we've covered numerous times over all these months. These aren't new to most of the people that have watched this channel from the not from the beginning, but the last year or so. No black premium teas. Oh, for what with the We Are Freaks? There's no black ones? No way. Well, there has to be, because I own one. That's what I have. I have a black We Are Freaks premium t-shirt. Yeah. All right, well, hold on. I'll be back in just a second. Starting right now. Hello there. I'm back. Yay! Listen how happy everybody is that I'm back. It's amazing. It's incredible. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, come on, please. Okay. Calm down. Mellow out. All right, thank you. Not to mention I freestyle all the time. Just get in line. Yeah, I just watched this really cool documentary. Well, I don't know if it was a documentary. It was an interview with Paul McCartney on... It was basically, he was explaining their top, like 10 songs, how they came about. It was pretty sweet. And it's amazing, too. You know that song, And I Love Her? The part that starts... Doom 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 doom, and that keeps going throughout the whole song. Like that part right there, they just said, hey, their manager said, hey, we need some sort of a musical thing first. And then George Harrison just immediately said, like this, doom 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 doom, and then it goes throughout the song, and Paul McCartney says that song wouldn't have been anything without just that little part that he put in there. And it's true too. When you listen to it, it's like, wow, imagine that not being in there. And then I watched the whole video on Ringo Starr, where there's this really young girl, she's like 15, who's just this great drummer, and she actually did a whole show on what makes Ringo Starr a great drummer. But then there was a whole nother show interviewing Ringo Starr about, his technique, and he said, well, I'm a left-handed person, but I used a right-handed drum set, and then allowed him to do certain things differently than other people. But he was sure to say that it wasn't because he was some big-time genius or anything. But he really did have his own technique, like his drumming style, It's like, I don't know. That was just so shitty that band didn't keep going for years and years, You kind of wonder what the hell they... Oh yeah, and Paul McCartney said that him and John Lennon wrote like 300 songs together, and they never had a session where they didn't finish a song. Like every single time when they sat around, they finished it. That's insane. And then he did discuss Yesterday, which is probably technically, probably one of their best songs they ever wrote, because it's short, but it's such an incredible melody. It's just unbelievable. So the thing is he started off, he said he was dreaming it in his head at night. And then he woke up one morning and the song was actually Scrambled Eggs was the name of it. And it was something like Scrambled Eggs, da-da-da-da. Then they probably realized that it's a lot better song than making a song about scrambled eggs. Isn't Ringo Starr still alive? Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah. Which is ironic, right? Since all the drummers were dying left and right, and then, oh wow, the drummer might live the longest. Who knows? One of my favorite songs is actually I don't know if I know the name. Let's see. It's A Day in a Life. I like that one. Wow, he's still out there playing, huh? Those guys are all almost 80, or 80 at least at this point. Yeah, George Harrison was probably the most underrated one for sure. Yeah, everyone knew Ringo, Lennon, and McCartney, right? But George Harrison, he's sort of the fourth most popular, right? But he's probably, you know, in talent-wise, he might have been top 2. You know, the rest of them were sort of the basic kind of good singers and good songwriters, right? Hey, that's my initials too, Bush and Beach Lifestyle. So I'll just assume you were talking about me. Yes, thank you very much. What do you mean 2.5 hours? Wow. What does that mean? Yeah. No, but I started 2 hours ago, so I thought that was regarding something else. I started at 9, didn't I? Elton. Yeah, here's my favorite songs of all time are, I think, the Sound of Silence by Simon & Garfunkel, Yesterday by the Beatles. You know, there's just like these songs that are, I don't even care who sang them. There's just these songs that every time you hear it, you want to keep hearing the rest of it. Doesn't matter how many times you heard it either. Sound of Silence might be, it's definitely, I think it's my favorite song of all time. Just the harmony of it, how amazing it is as a song. It's just amazing. Good night, Michelle Nicholas, the new moderator. Are you married to Santa Claus? Now, have you guys heard the Disturbed version of Sound of Silence? That's pretty good. Oh, and Jay Case just said that. He just typed it in right when I was saying it. I mean, he probably typed it in on his end before I said it, but for me it came out after I said it. Yeah, it's really good. But you can't really beat the original. Although that one's good. That's right there. Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel, their voices together are, there's probably really no match. They were just absolutely perfect. You know, Art Garfunkel, the harmony guy, you know, just absolutely unbelievable. I actually got to go to one of their concerts. I think it was like 2000, something like that. One of their last concerts. It was just amazing. Alright, well. I think people like the Disturbed version better sometimes. Most of the time it's people who didn't really hear the first one, or it's just so new and it's good, so now it's better. Yeah, well, Simon & Garfunkel songs, my favorite ones are... There's even some that you don't hear very often. like some older ones. Where they, I think this, what's the name of that one? Silent Night. Have you ever heard their Silent Night version? Where they're discussing the news events in the background. I Am a Rock. Mrs. Robinson I like, but it's, I don't know, it's not one of my favorite ones. Like Homeward Bound, that's good. Yeah, The Boxer. Yeah, The Boxer is awesome. It gets kind of long at the end, just repetitive stuff. And one of the songs by Paul Simon is America's Tune. You guys ever listen to that? I hadn't even heard that song until like 10 years ago, and I was like, wow, I never even heard it. Yeah. Oh wait, I got a couple more updates, so let me just skip through the rest of these, all right? Sorry. This is one of the ones that I really wanted to get to. What's going on, Blue? Oh, Blue wants to go outside. Hold on, I gotta... Yeah, Blue came running up to me again. Just touched my leg. Like, hey, let me outside.
You just being like that.
Yeah. All right. So you guys remember the Crystal Rogers case, right? We went over that for quite a few different times on here. And, you know, that's the case where Crystal Rogers and the Houck brothers, it's the one where the officer was killed in the ambush. That seems like it might be related. You guys remember this case? Well, look at this. Bardstown fire officials are conducting an arson investigation after a house owned by the only suspect ever named in a high-profile disappearance case was burned to the ground. Come on. What were they burning inside that house? I mean, what are the odds of that? That's just so low. Okay. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Or somebody else burned it down, because right here it sounds like they were like either remodeling or building it. So maybe somebody who hated him burned it down. So either way, it's related to you and what you did. The house was being built by owner Brooks Houck, the only suspect in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Although he was never charged, Houck was Rogers' ex-boyfriend. And if you guys want to see something crazy, go watch the interrogation tapes of both him and his brother. And while Brooks was being interrogated, his brother, who was a police officer, called him on the phone and pretty much shut down the interrogation. And then he lost his job over that, I believe. And then he was interrogated too. And I think he really lost his job after his interrogation. Okay, he was just idiotic. And he was also on the police force working the same night as the officer that was killed on the off-ramp in an ambush style. So there you go. That's the update on that one. There's the house on fire right there. That looks like that's right in town there. Yeah. Whoever set that fire didn't want that one to go out. Let's not kid around. Oh, you saw it, Ann? Okay, I'm not going to play it anymore. Ann saw it already. So, hold on. Ann D saw it, so I'm not going to play it anymore. Okay. Alright, there you go. Sorry. Bardstown, Kentucky. Yeah, pretty bad fire. Oh, you saw the interrogation. Okay, great. Yeah, pretty guilty. You gotta admit that. Oh, and we got an update on this one too. So this is the Canadian case. They've actually remember the other two the other two guys that were missing. Do you remember that? Hey, don't worry, Andy. I'm just flipping you crap. Okay, you could have been talking about anything. I don't really care. I'd already shown the whole fire video, anyways. Yeah, but interrogation, man. The brother, that's just the officer brother. He was so evasive. Both of them seemed guilty in there, right? But anyways, the other two guys that were missing in the Canadian case, Briar and Cam, that case. I don't know if I mentioned it, but they did make a video, their last sort of will and testament on camera, and the parents got to see this video that they made before they shot themselves in the head, apparently. Okay, but there was also two other guys that were missing right around that same time, and they did just find them, and they think it's murder, right? So 2 bodies found near Ashcroft have been confirmed to be Ryan Provencher and Richard Skur, who were reported missing from Surrey in July. A major police investigation is now underway. The bodies were found on August 17th by Lytton Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers in a rural area near Spence's Bridge. Let's see. Let's see. Canadian. It's not in there. I'll just type in Briar. That should be in there. Can't remember what I called that one. It was something like Canadian serial killers. Oh, Serial Killer Canada. There you go. I don't think they ended up being serial killers, but who knows, right? Yeah, so this is all down in this area here. This is where they found the white Jeep over here. Apparently, they're from... Let's see, where the hell were they going? Yeah, they were headed to Spence's Bridge here, but they were found up near Ashcroft up there. And the road that they gave does not actually exist in Canada. The way they spelled it doesn't exist. No, let me check, right? Let me go look. Okay. Well, if I find it again, I'll let you know, but it didn't exist. The bodies were found on August 17th by Lytton RCMP. The RCMP is confirming their identities in an effort to advance our investigation into their deaths. Sergeant Steve Rigby of the Southeast District Major Crime Unit said in a news release. Skur, 37, and Provencer, 38, were both last seen alive on July 17th near 23A Avenue and 163 Street in Surrey. Oh, I must have lost that. I had all that mapped out. Is that it right there? No. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. So they were last seen in this area, right around in there. And they were headed to Spence's Bridge. They found the Jeep there and their bodies up here. Yeah, see, they had planned to go to Spence's Bridge, even though their disappearance took place the same week. The 3 homicides linked to suspect Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski were being investigated. They were not connected, the cases. Anyone with more information is asked to contact. So, wow, there's lots of killing going on in good old safe Canada, you know? Got 5 murders there just recently. Although, you know, that's a poor night in Chicago, right? I mean... Wow. Yeah. If only one of these 2 guys had a gun, man. If only. If only. All right, everybody, that's it for the updates for tonight. They did say that those were murders. And so then you know, what the hell happened to these 2 guys? All right. But anyways, I don't think I have much more to discuss tonight. I think 323 people are still watching, right? Well, that's how the show is, everybody. So if you're out there and you want to be notified, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell underneath that, and then say all videos, okay? So let's see if we can get some of you to subscribe that aren't subscribed, that are just here watching, okay? Even if you don't like my personality, the information we cover on the show is it's good to know. We cover cold cases, missing persons cases, active cases that are going on. We cover them all the time, and everybody. I always feel like we probably have the most informed audience of all kinds of cases going on. Like when you're out with I guarantee it, this happens, everybody. Tell me if this doesn't happen. You're out with your friends at a bar. One of them says, "Hey, have you heard about that case?" And you go, Yeah, we've talked about that 1,000 times. Well, how about this one? Have you heard? Yeah, we've heard that one. Yep. Okay, well, surely you haven't heard. Yep, no, we heard that one too. So that's what you get. You'll be really informed, and you know, we go into the minutia of it, where you literally, at some point, some of the cases that we cover, you kind of feel like you were there, because we go right down to street view, get everything mapped in, get all the locations, and then that allows you to theorize with a hell of a lot more accuracy than other people out there. Well, thanks, Jay. I mean, I make my wife laugh a lot, so hopefully that's, and I do it, it's intentional too, even though it comes off as dry. A lot of people go, Gray doesn't even know he's funny, you know, but I do actually. I'm actually, that's just the way I've always, like at different holiday events, we'll all be sitting around a table. And I just get into these, I don't know what you call it, like a roll, a riff or whatever, and everybody is got tears in their eyes at the table. It's hilarious. One of these times I got to film the damn thing. Thanks, Andy. You like gel nails, Gray? Gosh, I wish that made any sense. Yeah. The thing is, it's hard to get dry humor sometimes if it's not said in a certain way that it's a little obvious, right? Oh, do I need to get the like button up here? All right, here we go.
I'm fired out of midnight,
Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, or subscribe, 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 hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So what are we at now on the likes? Are we at 150 at least? Wow, your eyes, they look like a lizard. Only 127. Wow. That's lame. I don't even know what gel nails means. Never heard that before in my life. Is that something new? I've never actually heard of gel nails. Is that like is that something like an in type of thing? Explain it to me, J Case. I don't know. Yes, if you could hit the like button. Let's get it up to 200 before the show ends. All right, here we go. Get the like button. I'm going to hit the auctioneer. Let's get the like button pressed in. Here we go.
I'm fired out of midnight, 10
Hit the
down,
like button, hit the
15
like
on
button,
my
hit the like button, hit the like
15,
button, hit the like 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 button, 25, 30, 25, 40, 45, 50, 30, 30, 25, 30, 30, sir, 25, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35. Yeah. What are gel nails? Gracie's ponies behind every bush. Not sure what that means, but hey, all right. Oh, you mean like last night?
I want her. Gracie's ponies behind
I
every
think that
bush.
was a
Smug.
horse. Come on.
So mean.
I'm pretty sure that was a horse by a fence. If not, man, that's like a cloud that really was a horse. Although, I gotta admit, it was kind of blurry. Oh, they're acrylic nails. Okay. Well, good. Hey, thanks. I'm glad I was something good. I had no idea what that meant. And again, I don't know how other people knew what that meant. Like Jay, I don't know how you knew what that meant, but I have no clue what that. I've never heard that in my life. Oh yeah, Logan's horse. Yeah, I think Logan's horse was at the crime scene that we were discussing yesterday. It's everywhere, isn't it? I mean, where isn't Logan's horse? Open your door. It's probably standing right outside. I don't speak Girl Code. Yeah. J. Case must have learned it at some point. Somebody did send me a code breaker. It was literally an article on when somebody says this is what they really mean. All right, they feel good on J. Case. He's got the gel nails on. And there's Billy Boy Blue. Jack and Jill went up the hill both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh!
Jack and Jill went up the hill both with $1.25. Jill came down with $250. Oh.
Wow. I wonder how she did that. She invented money out of nothing. Oh my god. I think Cairo nailed it. I haven't been able to put those pieces together, but he said that Briar and Cam were riding Logan's horse after they burnt the ride. So yes, after the RAV4 was burned, they got on Logan's horse, rode to the river, found a broken boat, got on it, and it sank like one of Gilligan's canoes. And they swam to shore. They were wet and cold. They each had a bullet left and a cell phone, left a message, and blew their brains out. Case closed, everybody. It's time to move on. Yeah. I think people actually believe that. Oh, okay. Wow. Discerning light. Yeah. What are, I don't even know what Takis is. Yeah. Yeah. Is that something they really did, have a bag of chips? I haven't read the fine details. I just knew that they left a message, and yeah, that's about it. Well, thanks. I don't know about that, but yeah, but I'm glad that some people like my channel. It's cool. Oh, really spicy Cheetos? I'm not sure what Cheetos are. Has anybody really figured out what the hell Cheetos are? It's like you're chewing on air that has this powder on it that you can't get off your fingers for days. It's like crunchy air. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure how they made Cheetos. Huh? It almost seems impossible. Somehow they were able to put structure into air that it actually had form to it, and then plastered it with a bunch of cheese powder, and then you just sort of put it in your mouth and it sort of melts. Like, put it in your mouth and you just close your mouth and it goes. It's weird, man. It's weird. Oh wait, for any woman that's listening out there, Cairo is awesome. He's so dedicated to the woman who loves him. That's all I know, man. That's all I know. You should eat Cheetos with the glove. I mean, I think Cheetos is the one chip I actually don't think people, even though it tastes good, it's like, I don't know. You know what? I'm actually talking about cheese puffs. You know, the Cheetos are a little bit crunchier, right? With they kind of wiggle around a little bit. Or no, wait, no, Cheetos. What are the ones that they're orange and they don't look like a caterpillar that's fuzzy? What's the other one? Aren't those Cheetos? Yeah, I like wings a lot. I'm able to eat wings. I can tear them apart really quick. I'm like, let me show you. So I'm not eating a wing right this minute, but let me show you how it actually works, right? So you know how you got the wing and it's got the drumstick part and then the flat, they call it. Hey, thanks, Cairo. Look at it. What I do is I pull the drumstick and the flat part apart. And then you take the flat and you grab it and then you break it apart.
Best
and then
wingman
you
ever.
go,
Not the first time I've
you
said
can pull
this.
each piece out. Just like that. And then you have nothing left on the bone. And then I eat, when my wing bones are finished, there is zero meat or gristle or anything left on either the flat, the drumstick, or the little pointy part. Nothing. Okay? When I'm done eating my wings like a barbarian, yes, I eat my wings like a barbarian. I literally just, my inner caveman comes out when I eat chicken wings. When it's done, the wings on my plate look like an archaeologist's or an archaeologist's excavation. They're just bones sitting there. There isn't any meat of any kind left on it. I can't stand it when people go, oh yeah, and then they throw it over there, and there's like half the meat still sitting on the bone, and then they move on to the next piece. Nothing worse than that. Okay, there's an actual skill to eat wings correctly. And you guys have all seen that crap, right? Where they go, especially the middle, the flat part, they go, yeah, and they eat around it, and then they just throw it over there, and it's like, God, break it apart, and they just go, you pull it out, and all there is left is the bone. Try it next time. You'll see what I'm talking about. And do it to both halves. So the way the wing works is you go, okay, hold on. You go like this to break the drumstick part away from the flat, which has the two little parts in it. Then you take the one with the two little parts and you grab it on both ends, and you go, I mean, not on both ends, but you pinch it like this, and you grab both bones and you pull it apart. And now there's meat on these two little things, and each one you put in your mouth, pull out, and then all you have left is two thin bones with no meat on it. Then you move over to the drumstick and you work through that, because it's dry, it's white meat, so it's a little slower, a little harder to just kind of get through it. But then, you get through that and there's nothing left. Then you go over to the pointed piece and you first bite on the fatter end that has the gristle on it. And then you just kind of, sometimes I just eat the whole thing. I stick it in my mouth and just chew it away, depending on how crispy it is. God, I'm getting hungry just thinking about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you believe that shit, Jay? Man, what are you guys doing? Oh, that's right. Cairo doesn't eat meat, so he's right now he's going, what in the hell are you talking about? Yeah. Well, we have incisor teeth for a reason. Yes, I've eaten gizzards. I've eaten gizzards and chicken hearts. And right now, Cairo just puked. Okay, but yes, chicken hearts are good, man. You put a little lemon pepper on them, flour, grill them up. Good stuff. They don't cost very much either. Poor Cairo. Poor Cairo. Best show ever. That's awesome. I don't like chicken liver that much. Or I don't like it at all, actually. Yeah, it's hard to eat meat if you're a and then in the same sentence say you're a vegetarian too. Yeah. That's like saying, I'm celibate, but I do have sex every so often. Yeah, well, I've never killed before, but, well, a couple times. But, yeah, I'm not... Yeah, something like that. Maybe I read it wrong. I eat meat, but I'm still a... Oh, wow. Vegetarianism. Oh. I don't even know what that word means, to be honest with you. Oh, I misread it. Well, you'll have to explain that one to me. I've never even heard that word before. Well, oh, you put a D in there? Oh. Well, that's good then. All right, good for you, Jay. I think without the D, I might have got the joke, but... And, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Jay Case. Now he's got to make a rap about that. All right. Jay's gonna have to make a rap about what he just said. Yeah. Yeah, appreciate everybody showing up. What are we up to on the likes now? Did we ever hit 200? Because we do have 306 people watching. Maybe there's 106 trolls. Maybe 107. I don't know. Well, no, Gray. We're just trying to see what your show's like. You don't really know yet. Okay, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, forget it. All right? But yeah, if you're here and you actually do like the show and you're struggling to find that like button, it's just right down in the lower right-hand corner. Thank you. Oh, don't worry about it, Toxic. Don't worry about it. Yeah, if you go to a show and you say, "What is this?" That's somebody I don't want to have hit the like button. Let's see. I wouldn't doubt it. The way these trolls are, yeah, they're always waiting for something. You know, waiting to look for something. You know, you get an email in the morning talking about, "Oh, Gray, your show, man. I used to like it, but well, I guess don't watch." Yeah, I guess they're lurking. So yes, this is a true crime channel, and we discuss all kinds of cases. And I think if everybody that watches my channel knows that I'm 100% behind the families, and I don't give a break to the criminals. I refer to them as barbarians because that's exactly what they are. I don't look at it like, well, maybe they grew up with it. I don't really give a shit how they grew up. I don't give a shit about that. I like knowing the why something happened, but I don't cut them a break for that at all. Okay? And if you've been here long enough, you'll know that I'm 100% behind them. Unless, of course, they're actually part of the crime themselves. Jay ate it and that tongue got rot. Knew what it was for, and booze got bought. That's not a lot, but it's proof of thought. Hey, I'm gonna have to add that one. Here we go. Okay, so that's now it's a combination of JoJo and Jay Case. All right, I'm gonna add that. All right. Anyways, where are we going on the flyby this time? Got to be another desert area. Utah is always the fallback. Yeah, I've given up on my channel's videos being monetized. What's funny is one of the only ones monetized was the one that I put Bambi on the front with, lollipops and sunshine, whatever the hell I put on there. And it's like, wow, that became monetized after I challenged the original, not suitable for most people, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So when I say, when people say they're not monetized, that isn't really true. What it is when you have a green mark, that means it's fully, all ads will just be put on there. When you have the yellow one, the note says, this video is not suitable for most ads, and, it's really, and you never get ads on those at all. Okay, so it's not like your channel's demonetized, but they make each video almost with no ads on them at all. You might see one here or there randomly, but it's messed up. Okay, it's terrible. So I've given up on that. So basically, the only support that I count on is Patreon. I think I have like 70 people in there, which is awesome. Patreon, super chats, Streamlabs, PayPal, and there's also my merchandise, the cups and the shirts and so forth. I think they're awesome. The Freak, what's cool is I think the We Are Freaks design and everything is still like the best thing. Like as soon as you see it, you know exactly what you're looking at. That one took a while. I had to get all these characters, pose them in different positions. Mount Coolea would be cool. Oh yeah, let's see what that looks like. The only problem with Hawaii, it's got all those trees, and then you don't get very good, like the rest of everything else. That is kind of, look how crazy that is. Wow, so this is similar to what I was saying before. This was the original. Look how big that was when, probably, I don't know when it was, but a long time in the past. That was where the lava and everything came out. This is sort of the newer area, and it's a lot smaller. And then that might even be a smaller area inside of that. But usually what happens is a little dome builds up, and then it erupts, and then that kind of thing. Oh, you can't see. There you go. Now you can see. Yeah, you see how you can see this outer ring there? I think that was the original sort of footprint of it. And now you got this, which is much smaller than that. And it looks like that was something at one point too off to the side. Huh. And those are clouds right there. What are they talking about? Hey, thanks, Nordman. But everybody out there, if you can eat chicken wings, try it that way. Okay, I'm gonna go to. Hold on. So let me get that one
for the Chicken Wing Fund.
Okay, do that one, and then we'll go back to Utah on the other one. On the second going. Seems like we do 2 rounds now every time. There's so much to do over here though. Let me see if there's what's over here. Let's see. I gotta go back to Bryce. And look how crazy that looks. What does this look like? Alright, so I'm going to get that loaded in too. Alright, you guys ready? Alright, before I do that though, however, I am going to say thanks to Billy Boy Blue. Whoa! Hugh Gray's up in the house. Billy Boy Blue. Pits are fiercely loyal and affectionate to their owners, which is the draw. Billy Boy Blue, 3 blind mice. Where the F are they going? Billy Boy Blue again. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat beside her and said, "What's in the bowl? Beach?" And then Billy Boy Blue again. And then Patricia, Slim Dog, Dottie O, Nordman, J Case with his rap. Big donation there. Steve Kerr, Billy Boy Blue, and Cairo Al Qadir and Nordman. Then when we go over to Gmail to check out the, got a lot of emails in there, but PayPal, which is cool because every nickel through there is there's no, you know, yeah, YouTube takes like 40% sometimes. All right, so we've got Cairo on there. All right, Monica and Ryan, Donna, and those are all on PayPal. And then I think there was even somebody else. Let's see. Oh, and Linda on there. Oh, and actually I got a new Patreon member tonight, Christine. So thank you very much. Wow. Very cool. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everybody. And thanks, Cairo, for your donation was really large, and you got to be able to put the 143 in there to say, "I love you" to your sweetheart. Happy Valley, Utah. All right, let me type in. Let me put that in there too. Hold on. Apple Valley. Yeah, that's pretty cool looking too. There's really no landscape in Utah that doesn't look cool, you know? All right, so maybe we'll do this thing 3 times tonight. Disney World, come on. All right, here we go, everybody.
Boom!
Daro.
Boom!
Look how big that was once. Man.
Boom! Good night, freaks!
Ew. Three loops, 3 loops. Oh, inside the mountain. Oh, now we're flying over Jay Case's in-laws' house. Wherever it is. Somewhere around here, huh? Look how clear that is. It's crazy. Look at that. I mean, like, it's nuts. There we go. We had a whole bunch of them that time. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight. Kind of a long night again, but we covered a whole bunch of cases. Hell, even talked about music for a while. The creepy pit bulls out there. Updates on about 8 cases, and then a pretty big deep dive into the 1980 case that was solved. That's in the description of the video. The actual main thrust of the show was talking about that. Right? And that should have been in the Donna Brazzell case. She was just identified. So thank you, everybody, and thanks for contributing to the channel. And those of you who have signed up for Patreon, I really appreciate that too. And just for being here and hitting the like button, engaging in some way, even if it's hitting the dislike button. Do something, for God's sakes. All right, everybody, thank you for showing up tonight. And until next time, everybody, be safe out there.